Are we ready to do this? Maybe just a little bit. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Margaret Purser, and I am the chair of the faculty at Sonoma State University. And we would like to welcome each and every one of you to this commencement ceremony on this glorious May afternoon. And I've already seen my first beach ball, so it's all good. Would the banner carriers please place your heraldic banners in their stands? It's coming. All right, thank you very much. And now would everyone please be seated? All right. It is my very great pleasure to introduce to you our student musician for today. Talia Trozzo will perform. Some of you may have heard of her. She will now perform America the Beautiful.
It's a different version. Okay, you ready?
Wasn't that gorgeous? Thank you very much, Talia, for opening today's commencement ceremonies. And it is now my great pleasure to introduce the president of Sonoma State University, Dr. Ruben Armañana.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to add my welcome to that given by Professor Purser on behalf of the faculty and staff of Sonoma State University, many of whom are present today to share in this celebration. The job of a president's main job is to ensure that on commencement day there's good weather. I go into heavy praying mode about 10 days ago, and I think I did pretty good. I'm pretty happy. There have been years where my prayers have not been as well answered, perhaps because I have not been as good of a boy as I could have been. This year's graduates number approximately 2,200. About 1,000 of you are participating in this ceremony for the School of Arts and Humanities, School of Business and Economics, and the School of Education. A light number participated in a ceremony earlier today for the School of Science and Technology and the School of Social Sciences. You will be joining the more than 58,000 students who have completed a master's or a bachelor's degree at Sonoma State University since our first commencement in 1962. You come from many states and many countries, which are represented by the various flags you see flying behind me, while the majority of you come from the state of California. Today you celebrate an achievement in common, the award of a master's or bachelor's degree. To all of you, the graduates of 2014, welcome to your commencement. We want to welcome the family and friends of our graduates. You all can share in the happiness and pride of our graduates on this great occasion, because each of you has played some part in their success. I would like to take a moment as we begin this commencement ceremony to invite the graduates to stand and acknowledge their parents and grandparents, children, spouses, significant others, brothers and sisters and friends for their help and support. Thank you. We are pleased to have on our platform party today several very distinguished guests. Ms. Gail Brooks is the Vice Chancellor for Human Resources of the California State University. She's committed to education through her continued leadership and community service. I would like to acknowledge university officials and others in the platform party who are here today to honor our graduates. You will find their names and titles on page 17 on your commencement program. I would also like to acknowledge our distinguished faculty who are here today to participate in this very important ceremony. The names of our faculty can be found on page 48 of our program. And there'll be a test following the ceremony. Finally, please join in recognizing the almost 200 members of Sonoma State University staff whose dedication and hard work had made this ceremony possible. We thank you. I would like now to invite Gail Brooks, California State University Vice Chancellor for Human Resources, to greet our graduates.
Good afternoon, and thank you, President Arminiana. It's a great honor to share this special day with the newest graduates of Sonoma State University. With your family, and your friends, and the faculty and staff of this excellent university. I'm delighted to bring you greetings and congratulations on behalf of Chancellor White and the California State University. Graduates, you truly represent the best hopes of the state of California. This spring, more than 90,000 new CSU graduates will be moving on from their alma maters to enter into professional and graduate schools or directly into the workforce of this great state. Together, you are a cause for great optimism for our future. The state of California is counting on your skills, your knowledge, your creativity, and the dedication you've shown in working successfully toward the degrees that you will receive today. We know that you will not disappoint. As a citizen and member of your community, continue to support the CSU by showing others how earning a college degree can be the most important step towards a brighter future. As a graduate of the CSU, be an ambassador for our system. Let your friends, colleagues, legislators, and community know how important the CSU has been to you and how they can join you in keeping the doors of opportunity open for others by supporting the California State University. As graduates of Sonoma State University, you've received not only a deep and strong education in your major fields, but an appreciation and an understanding of the value of the liberal arts and sciences that are the basis for a rewarding personal life and career. You are very fortunate to have attended such a fine university. You've worked hard, and you deserve the degrees that will be conferred upon you today. Again, on behalf of the California State University, the Chancellor, and the Board of Trustees, I congratulate you on your achievement and wish you every success as you leave this great university for your tomorrows. Congratulations.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Brooks. And I would now like to invite the outgoing Vice President of Finance for the Associated Students, Matthew Doherty, to greet the graduates. Some of you have apparently heard of him. Those of us in faculty governance have had the pleasure of working with Matt Doherty over the past year, and I can tell you that he is one of the best advocates for Sonoma State students I have ever met.
Hey, all. Welcome, graduates, students, parents, and friends to the Sonoma State 2014 Commencement. On this beautiful day, I would like to congratulate these approximately 1,000 graduates on their final step in their Sonoma State experience. As your representative of Associated Students, it was my pleasure to represent you. So let's take a look at where we've been. Going home on the weekends, utilizing caffeine a little bit too much during finals week, having some great discussions in a class that you just don't want to end, and having some, not so, counting down the seconds to go to Lobos. We scrounged Craigslist for odd jobs just to make rent. We called home to hear our loved ones and our dog barking in the background. We all sweated during registration time. You knew if you weren't Monday morning, you were kind of scrambling to piece together a schedule. We have all pulled all-nighters to study, only to, hang out with friends in the 24-hour lab and eat like we're on a 7-Eleven all-food diet. And wake up late to our midterm the next morning just to say, after saying we were going to take a quick nap. Well, congratulations because we made it. We can take, we can take a little breath, but we've had our ups and downs. The 120-day party ordinance, the Sonoma aroma on hot days, pulling up through the drive-thru at Taco Bell across the street, only to find out that they closed 10 minutes early. The sound of lawnmowers waking you up on Friday mornings when you didn't have to be up till 1 p.m. And some major ups, like posing for a selfie with Lobo at a volleyball game. Or, meeting Susan Kashak and shaking her hand for the first time, and yes, she is a real person. And quick question, how many of you have ever wondered how the Stevenson elevator can break like 10 times in a semester? So the thing is, Sonoma State University makes it possible for people from all walks of life to come to a single university and join the collaborative environment that is SSU. With over 180 organizations, there's something for each of our 9,000 students, and college is really what you make of it. Sonoma gave us all the tools in order to make it an absolutely incredible undergraduate college experience. We not only feel prepared to go to graduate school or in the professional workforce, but we are leaving the school as a more well-rounded individual. Since this graduating class enters Sonoma State, there has been many changes. From a petition to change our mascot from Seawolf named Lobo to a rooster named Rodney, to the construction of world-class buildings and sustainable initiatives. Many of these changes were actually student-led and organized. Many of our classmates and friends sat on the very same committees as our faculty and administration to have a student voice and change. Any student, do we recall the bare land that existed before the Green Music Center? And did we ever think that we would have such a beautiful student center with the largest ballroom in Sonoma County, new meeting rooms for our clubs and organizations, and state-of-the-art dining facilities? All to better accommodate our students. We have made a tremendous impact on this university. We have been involved since the start with opening of these great buildings. And with the help of many of you, you and I were able to organize some great programs. Only Sonoma State gives students these opportunities to grow and the tools to make their university a personal experience. This school feels like a community unlike any other where we can celebrate new beginnings and transitional times. A place where new students can fit right in with the campus culture, faculty, staff, and advisors. We have taken classes at junior colleges and college campuses throughout the state, throughout the universe, yeah, right, and can say that the faculty and staff here that we have experienced have been truly inspirational in their knowledge, experience, and passions inside and out of the classroom. They make us motivated to learn beyond the textbook and to think critically in every facet of life. We could not have been the student athlete, the volunteer, the activist, the double major, or the first generation college student involved in so many campus events just like you at any other university in the California State University system. No other university gives us that amount of opportunity. Many of my friends and I have had leadership roles in residential life, entrepreneurial activities, associated students. In learning with these great leaders at our student-run radio station, shameless plug, Cason Radio, it's pretty good. In our residential communities, I've seen how opportunities can lead to success from a student here. Sonoma wants to see their students grow, and I can say from the experiences of my own, the opportunities open to myself, and through the words of my fellow graduates, that we are all graduating as well-rounded individuals. We are ready to change the world, whether that be with numbers or words, in the field of medicine or law, or in the arts and entertainment. The field of study we have learned is not what makes our degree important, but is the value that we have placed on education over these years and the tools that we have learned to make us act in the best interests of others, and that's what's important. Much like college, life is what you make of it, so therefore your success is impingent on your will to succeed. On behalf of the 8,500 fellow students not here today, we want you to wish you the best of luck and happiness in your future aspirations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dougherty. In a moment, we will be conferring an honorary doctorate to Mr. Gary Heck, president and owner of F. Corbell & Brothers Champagne Cellars. I've had the honor of working with Mr. Heck while he has served as chair of the board of directors for Sonoma State University's Wine Business Institute. I have come to know Gary as a consummate professional of the highest integrity and as a savvy business leader. But most important of all, Gary Heck is a generous and kind person who puts others' welfare ahead of his own. Mr. Heck has asked me to say a few words today on his behalf, and I am honored to do so. I thought it would be most appropriate to share with you some of the sage advice he has given me. Although there is much I can draw from, 3 pieces of wisdom stand out. First, on being a professional, Mr. Heck said to me, if you're going to be late, don't bother showing up at all. This is a lesson not only in time management, but more importantly, a lesson in respecting others. Second, Mr. Heck has advised that if you can't afford it, don't buy it. There are many ex-business leaders who wish they remembered the simple axiom of prudent fiscal responsibility. And to make the point clear to those of you in this audience, if you can't pay the monthly balance on your credit card, don't put any more stuff on it. And finally, in my time with Gary Heck, he has always stressed the importance of investing in education. His generosity to Sonoma State University's wine business programs and its students is rooted in his desire to provide opportunities for education that were not available to him. Now I'm pleased to invite President Armignana to return to the podium for the conferral of the California State University Honorary Doctorate. We are proud to be conferring the Honorary Doctorate today to a distinguished gentleman for his personal achievements, contributions made to the community, and for his friendship to higher education.
Dr. Brooks?
Make sure this is, which ones am I reading here?
Repeat this.
Gary Heck, owner of Corbel Champagne Cellars, has built the brand into the leading premier California champagne producer in this country, continuing the legacy of his father. His dedication to quality, both in the vineyard and in the cellar, is at the heart of his distinguished, award-winning portfolio. He is an icon in the wine industry, recognized not only for his business success, but also for his leadership and integrity. Mr. Heck has enjoyed a long-standing relationship with Sonoma State University. He currently serves as chairman of the board of directors of Sonoma State's Wine Business Institute. Over the past 18 years, his support and belief in the mission of the university has been pivotal to the success of the Wine Business Institute. He created the F. Corbel Brothers Incorporated Professorship in Wine Business. Most recently, Mr. Heck made a generous commitment to support the new home of the Wine Business Institute. In recognition of his commitment to quality in business, his community involvement, and generous support of the university, the California State University and Sonoma State University are proud to confer on Gary Heck an honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Congratulations. You got it. No, you're good.
To dress you here, Gary. Looks good.
Great. Congratulations.
Let me say something about Gary that is really very important. He has been a leader in everything he has done. And he believes in the power of hard work, of tenacity, and vision. And not only has he been very successful in his business, and I have the feeling that many of these graduates are your customers. Some of them pretty recently, I would say. But he also believes in the power of education as a transforming vehicle. Therefore, we are very proud to congratulate Gary Heck, and from now on, as I told his family, he must be referred to as Dr. Gary Heck. Congratulations, Gary.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to say a couple of words?
Just a couple. Thank you. I'm very honored to receive this, and I still don't think I'm worthy of it, but I will say other thing is that it with great pride that I'm involved with the Wine Business Institute. Thank you.
One of the reasons we honor people with honorary degrees is to serve as models for all of us. Therefore, I hope that one day you can aspire to receive from your alma mater also an honorary degree, and we call you Dr. So-and-so. I would like now to take a moment to recognize our recipient of the Staff Excellence Award. These awards are presented to select members of the Sonoma State University staff in recognition of the outstanding service to the university and its students and faculty. Today's recipients are Mr. Stephen Anderson from the Physics and Astronomy Department and Mr. John Mueller from the University Library. Their biographies are on page 10 of your program. Mr. Anderson was here earlier in the morning, and now Mr. Mueller benefits us be in the platform today. Congratulations, John. Thank you, John, for your excellent service to Sonoma State University, especially our students.
All right. Next up, I have the great pleasure of introducing our student speaker, Ms. Ashley Kimball. Okay, let me read the good part. Ashley graduates today with a BA in Theater Arts. While at Sonoma State, Ashley worked for Associated Student Productions. She is currently co-running a children's theater, which she hopes to establish as a nonprofit in the near future. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Ashley Kimball.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, graduates, family, friends, and please, can we all give a round of applause to the mothers in the audience? Happy Mother's Day. Hope this is a good present. I love you, Mom. My name is Ashley Kimball, and I am so excited to be here today. In fact, I gotta be honest, I can't even really believe that we're here right now. And I really can't believe I'm watching a bunch of college graduates play beach ball while I'm giving this speech. But hey, I remember 4 years ago walking into the Zinfandel dorms and immediately wanting to turn back around because I thought, I am not ready for this. Although I am, what do you know, one of those crazy orientation leaders roped me in, and before I knew it, I was hooked on the college experience. I think it was her visionary dancing to Lady Gaga's Poker Face that really sealed the deal. Now, we may not share the exact same story, but I'm sure there's at least one, if not many, doubts or obstacles that have held you back at some point. Maybe you procrastinated and waited to study for your midterm the night before, only to wake up with drool on your book and late for class. I know we've all struggled trying to Hunger Games both a parking spot and that one class that you absolutely needed to get into. New friends came and old ones went. You got sick for the first time without having mom or dad there. You probably cried at some point. I know I did. We may not know each other, but we most certainly know what it took to get to this moment, and for that, we celebrate together. Now, lessons were learned, of course, both inside and outside the classroom, and I originally had 5, but this morning I decided to only say 3. So if you want the other 2, call me. Lesson 1, it is good to be confused. Confusion leads to questions, and questions lead to more questions and more confusion. That's okay. Never stop pushing for more information and more knowledge. Lesson 2, fail. A lot. Not on purpose, of course, but embrace failure. Hold it up in front of you and show it who's boss. The success that comes from failure is deeply rooted in passion and perseverance to prove that you can skip over what tripped you up in the first place. Lesson 3, the degree won't get you the job, but it certainly helps. Tomorrow, I'm very lucky, I will immediately be starting my work full-time at an assisted living facility, and I'm incredibly thankful for that. I thought about what enabled me to so quickly join the real world with that job after graduation, and I landed on this thought: versatility. My advice to you. I have been working for the past 9 months, and I wasted no time learning everything I could to find out about that job. I have been a server, a front desk concierge, a bingo caller, a driver, a resident escort to doctor's appointments, and they even asked me to learn how to make paninis. Ha! I could go on. I may not have had the degree until now, but my drive to be as versatile of an employee as possible has made it possible for me to work full-time and survive after today. You can do it. We can do it. Now, I know that for the most part, we all had that moment where it finally set in that graduating truly meant graduating. No more college to fall back on. No more excuses for why you were poor. You realized that you would be on your own to make life happen or go back to living with your parents, neither of which sounded too enthralling, I'm sure. My moment set in about 2 months ago, and boy, did it hit me. Naturally, I texted my mother, in class, totally freaking out about graduation. I will have nothing to fall back on. I am nervous. She immediately replied back with, Ashley, you always have you to fall back on. You are the only you. When we were your age, I didn't know that I would have my doctorate, and your aunt definitely didn't know she was going to be the VP of a major corporation. The door is wide open. I cried a little bit and asked, what do you want for me in life? She said, can I see a movie first before I tell you? After she finally responded, she said, I want for you to experience all that you envision for yourself, and more every step of the way. I want you to see crisis as opportunity and problems as obstacles. Wow. The response made me want even more, so I began to ask my family, my friends, my coworkers, and the senior-aged residents where I work the same question. What do you want from me in life? I'm positive that their answers echo those of your family and friends, who are watching, listening, and supporting you. And so I've taken the words of my loved ones, and from us to you, I'd like to share what their response is. This is what I want for you. What do I want for you? Contentment, faith, and hope. Gut instinct. I want for you to have the wisdom and courage to make the choices in life work and love that validate your passion for creativity, excitement for learning, family loyalty, and the happiness that you have experienced all your life. I want you to know genuine love, given and received, and to always acknowledge the importance of the unwavering parental success that has been the basis for all of your successes. No one succeeds alone. It indeed takes an army. I want you to keep making people laugh louder, work harder, and love more every day. I hope for you to always find reward for yourself in the choices you make. I want love for you, a love for the moments you are a part of, a love for the people around you, whether it be the friends, family, or partner, and a love for yourself because you are incredible. The last responses that I received were from a 92-year-old couple who celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary a few months back. Charm, the wife, said, I want for you to be your own boss, as I have been mine. When I was able, I always followed the path I chose for myself. And when I was not able, I quickly learned to accept the unacceptable. I have no should-haves, no regrets. Charles, her husband, wrote, what do I want for you in life? I want that when you're an old woman and you are asked, what moment in your life was the best? You will say without hesitation, why, right now, of course. I guess the biggest lesson I learned of all in college is that it's so much more than just getting a diploma. Nicholas Joseph von Jacquin said it much more eloquently. Neither a lofty degree of intelligence nor imagination, nor both together, go into the making of a genius. Love, love, love. That is the soul of genius. So as you take your steps off this stage and into the arms of your friends and family, do not forget the most important lesson of all. Simply go out and love. Whether it be your job, your pet, your partner, your friends, your family, just love. I could not have asked for a better, more beautiful place to have come to this realization, and I thank Sonoma State for that. Congratulations, class of 2014. We did it!
Thank you, Ashley, for that inspiring message. We're honored to have our speaker today, a New York Times best-selling author and the founder of Pencils of Promise, Mr. Adam Braun. Pencils of Promise is a for-purpose organization that builds schools, trains teachers, and funds scholarships. Mr. Braun has been named to the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, Wired Magazine's 50 People Who Are Changing the World, and was elected as one of the World Economic Forum first 10 global shapers. He has also been a featured speaker at the White House, the United Nations, and the Clinton Global Initiative. We're honored to have Mr. Brown with us and thank the associated students for their efforts in choosing him and bringing him here today. Mr. Adam Brown.
Good afternoon. How you guys doing? Great. So, obviously today is a very special day, but thank you. I can't see you, but you go to university here, so I assume you're beautiful. So, obviously today is a really exciting day for every person here, but first and foremost, I want to acknowledge the mothers in advance of Mother's Day. So once again, if we could just give them a big round of applause, I think it's appropriate. So I actually reached out to my mother earlier this morning, and I shared with her that I was going to be speaking to you guys today. And I said, Mom, I'm going to be giving this big talk at Sonoma State, so obviously jokes are kind of nice to start off speeches with, so can you share a joke with me that I could share with the audience? And my mom said back to me, Adam, that's a really nice idea, but you're not very funny. And so it was honestly a mother's true words, and she followed that up by saying, why don't you just do what you do best, which is speak from the heart. And that's what I built an entire career on, and that's what I'm hoping to do for the next 15 minutes or so with each of you here today. And so I think it's really important, honestly, for, it's true. So I think it's really important for each of us to understand where we come from before we can know ultimately where we're going. And so for me to get a sense of who is here today, just by a show of hands, how many of you here are parents? How many of you here are students? How many of you here are faculty? How many of you here are grandparents? Okay, how many people of you here are the grandchild of someone? Okay, so now we have some common grounds. So my story, really starts with a couple core ideas, but I wanted to share with you guys today here 5. So the first one goes back to my college experience. I went to Brown University. I was known as a basketball player when I went to school, and one of my majors was business economics. Really? That's weak, guys. So, how about the art majors? Can I hear from them? Thank you. Thank you. So, as a student, I could see a very clear path in front of me. I wanted to work on Wall Street. I wanted to work in finance. And more than anything, I wanted to build a career that was based around one thing, which I'm sure many of you feel as college students, which is acquisition of wealth. I wanted to make a ton of money. That was my main motivation. And I was pretty straightforward about that. But I realized pretty soon that I was actually pursuing this external ideal. I wasn't committed to the thing that I felt like would derive the greatest sense of purpose and meaning in my life. And when I was a sophomore, I remember sitting in my dorm room, and I watched a movie that was called Baraka. And Baraka is shot in 24 different countries around the world. And it exposed me to different cultures that I never even knew existed. And as I sat there as a college student looking at these different parts of the world that I had never seen before, I remember feeling like someone had kicked me in the stomach. And there was this distinct sense that I had to get out of my comfort zone. That whatever was directly in front of me, this clear-cut path that I knew, I needed to get out of my comfort zone. And so the first idea that I wanted to share with you guys is that true self-discovery begins where your comfort zone ends. It's actually when you leave who and what you are associated with consistently, because right now you have this identity. You're a senior at Sonoma State. And starting tomorrow, that identity is going to start to dissipate. And what you'll find is that when you leave your comfort zone, you start to identify not what you are, but truly who you are. And so in my case, I started traveling, and I began backpacking on a program called Semester at Sea. and I found myself in rural India, and I had a habit of asking one child per country, what do you want most in the world? And I thought their answers would be the things that I wanted, a house or a nice boat or a car or something. And I found this boy who was begging on the streets. And I'd never seen a child begging on the streets like that. And I felt helpless. Like, what can I do to actually support this young boy? And I asked him, if you could have anything in the world, what would you want? And he looked at me, and he simply answered, a pencil. And that was it. And I had a pencil with me, and I gave it to him, and I watched him light up, and I realized something that each of you have realized thus far, which is that the single greatest opportunity to unlock your sense of personal potential lies within your investment in your education. And that every single person here is actually derived within 2 to 3 generations, I can guarantee it, from a lineage that at one point in time was an individual, a man or a woman, living in what we would consider to be a developing world country. You come from a lineage of people who grew up on rural countrysides, probably without running water, without access to electricity, but they believed that one day, within 2 or 3 generations, their great-grandchildren could have greater opportunity. And it was their sacrifices that allow each of you to be here today. And so I became obsessed with this idea of the power of education. And when I looked at global educational statistics, I realized right now there's actually 57 million children around the world who lack access to any form of education. And I just became a bit delusional and looked at what we have and what we don't have and decided that, something in my lifetime, I'm going to derive a sense of purpose around achievement of education for all. And I've been on a path around that since. But I came back from these travels and I remember thinking, where should I go work? And you're going to have a lot of opportunities. Starting tomorrow, perhaps you've already been offered opportunities. But the second idea that I wanted to share with you guys is that there are actually 3 forms of compensation. Many of you will think about in your first or second job, what is the compensation that I'll receive? But I'd encourage you to consider the fact that there are actually 3. The first form of compensation is money. It's the thing that we can all feel, we can touch, we can see it in our bank account. And it's what's most highly prioritized oftentimes when we're picking that first job. But there's actually a second form of compensation, which is mastery. It's learnings, it's knowledge, it's the skills that you need to develop to become a great, not only contributor to whatever type of workforce you want to work within, but ultimately to live the life that you seek on your own terms. And then there's a third form of compensation, which is meaning. It's connection to a broader whole. It's being part of something that allows you to feel a sense of purpose and contribute to something that is bigger than you. And whatever job that you seek going forward, I would encourage you to think about those 3 forms of compensation, but without a shadow of a doubt, in your first job, only focus on mastery. Focus on the learnings, because it will serve you so well going forward. What you'll find is that that first job is going to crush you. It's going to suck. You're going to have to work so hard. And yet, if you look at it as almost a paid form of business school, if you seek out that experience as a lifelong learner, you will find that you can create a career in which people will give you opportunities to live out your own life with your own dreams being pursued while contributing to others. And so I found myself working at this company called Bain. It's a great consulting firm. And I was working on all of these leading clients. Now, I wasn't working directly on education for all, but I knew that in order to really channel your passion, and I hear that word so much now, everyone talks about pursue your passion. I would encourage you to pursue your purpose. And there's a big difference there. A lot of people are going to think about, how do I become happy? And once again, I would challenge that. I haven't pursued happiness in my life. I pursued meaning. And there's a very big difference between happiness and meaning, although we often equate one with the other. And so I've decided that, something, that passion isn't enough. And you're going to find that your passion will not be enough. It needs to be combined with a real sense of business acumen, with the ability to transfer ideas into reality. And so in my case, I thought, something, this job will give me the opportunities that I need going forward, and I invested in that opportunity right there. And within about a year, I wasn't too excited about it, and I got this idea to try and build an organization called Pencils of Promise. And I went to the bank, and I asked the woman in front of the desk, I said, what does it take to start a new bank account? And she looked at me and she said, well, you have to start with at least $25. And I was turning 25 that month, and so I thought it was a good sign. And so I gave her $25 as kind of a karmic indication of the direction that I was hoping the organization would head. and I asked for birthday presents instead of, donations in lieu of birthday presents that year. Now, I'm born on Halloween. How many people here find Halloween to be one of the best holidays of the year? So, as I said, I asked for friends to give donations instead of birthday presents, and what you will find is whatever idea you want to pursue, your friends will rally behind you, your family will get behind you. And so fortunately, people came out, they gave small donations, they helped us fund our very first school, and I took a leave from my job, I went out to Laos, we built our first school, and by the time I came back, it was hard to reconcile these two jobs. This organization, Pencils of Promise, that in early 2009 we were working on a second school, and by 2010 a third or a fourth school, with this same job that I was supposed to be working at. And this is where the third ideal comes in, which is when you face these incremental decisions between one path or the other, when it's staying at a safe job or it's pursuing a sense of purpose, I would encourage you to make the little decisions with your head and the big ones with your heart. Now, in my case, that meant choosing to leave my job and pursue Pencils of Promise fully 4 years ago when we had 3 schools, no office, no salaries, or anything else. But what enabled the organization to grow was the fourth idea that I would share with you, which is to speak the language of the person you seek to become. Not who you are right now, not who you hope to become one day, but the voice of your future self, the person that you strive to become in that aspirational version. Once again, in my case, I hated saying I'm a 24-year-old consultant. In New York, the default conversation is, what do you do? And so it wasn't fun to say, I'm 24 and I work at Bain. So instead I shifted the conversation to, well, I'm 24 and I work at Bain, but one day I'm going to start a global organization that builds schools and increases access to quality education for children around the world. And the reaction to that suddenly was all of these questions. Well, what are you going to do with the teachers? Where are the schools going to be placed? How are you going to find staff? And what that did is it forced me to almost live my way into the answers. I had to figure out how and why and almost through who this future version of myself would operate. And what you'll start to discover when you speak in this language, this voice of the person that you want to become, is that people will start to open up doors in that direction. People start to say, well, you know, I have this friend, he actually has built a school or two in Tanzania. Do you want to speak with him, or this woman who works in Nepal? You should really connect with her. And suddenly these opportunities became unearthed from these conversations. And so this fourth core idea is to ultimately just, I couldn't encourage you guys enough, speak the language of the person you seek to become. And what you'll find is that the universe will start to manifest in that direction. The energy of your conversations will move there. And, you know, it was pretty crazy for me to go out there at the time and say, well, as a young person in my mid-20s, I'm going to try and build a bunch of schools around the world. But what I've found is that time and time again, people discredit the value of youth. They will tell you you are too young to make a difference, that you have to wait, that you have to ultimately acquire some type of wealth or power or influence to impact the lives of others. And I am here to tell you that is bullshit. Every single one of you has the resounding ability to create the exact world that you want to envision. But it takes grit, it takes resilience, and it takes the ability to invest in your own personal naivete. Now, one of the things that they're going to tell you as a young person is, well, that's impossible, which is something that I heard time and time again. It's going to be impossible. And what I found is that one of the most powerful elements of youth is that you're too young to know what is impossible. You don't have that wisdom. Within that wisdom, there's accumulated knowledge. And without that knowledge, you are willing to try. Now, one of the most amazing things to me is that Martin Luther King, this obviously kind of revered, esteemed figure in our culture that we think of as this powerful man in his mid-30s leading the civil rights movement, actually started the Montgomery bus boycotts when he was 26 years old. Malala Yousafzai is the most powerful voice in global education right now, and she's a 16-year-old girl. You are never too young to get started. It just takes relentless belief in the impossible. Now, I can assure you I'm not particularly special. I'm just utterly unreasonable. And there's a very big difference there. And as you guys go forward from today into tomorrow, into the months and the years ahead, I would hope that you don't lose that unreasonable sense within. Your 20s, these next, let's say, 8 years of your life, are known as the defining decade. what I've picked up is that the 20s are actually the time in which you are able to both fight and accept your way into the person that you are destined to become. Now, I turned 30 recently, and when I turned 30, I actually decided to think back and try and identify what was the most important lesson that I learned in my 20s. And I just wanted to share that quickly with you guys, which is that at the time, when I was in my mid-20s and Pencils of Promise was just getting started, I remember writing a lengthy journal entry. And I wrote down a couple key words. The main point was about when I turned 30, what I hoped to accomplish. And I remember writing, in my wildest dreams, if we could build 30 schools as an organization by the time I turned 30, that I could die a happy man. Now, I turned 30 about 6 months ago, and I'm proud to say that Pencils of Promise has built over 200 schools around the world, with more than 22,000 students going through our educational programs every day and over 15 million hours of education delivered. But here's the important part. I can't die a happy man yet. And what it's taught me is that I still want to do so much more. And every time that I met one of my heroes, these incredible figures that I aspired to emulate one day, I realized that they were normal people, just like you and just like me. And as soon as I realized that they weren't these superheroes, they were figuring it out too, I realized maybe I can be like one of them too. And then ultimately, as soon as you start to define something as impossible and transfer it into a possible, you start to move your goals once again. And each room that I spoke in gave me ambition to speak in front of bigger audiences. Each country that I traveled to gave me hunger to go to the next country. And every time I thought I had stayed up as late as I could, I still craved to watch the sunrise. So as I stand before you here today, I now realize what my 20s have taught me. That there's actually no such thing as best. It does not exist. There's no such thing as a finish line to living the perfect life. It's constantly in motion, just as far away from our grasp as the dream was before. It's constantly moving at the rate of acceleration that we are. You will screw up, you will be celebrated, you will feel like a winner and a loser in the same exact day. I can guarantee it. Hopefully today is one of those days where you guys feel like winners. But ultimately, the key thing is the people that I've met who are most successful are not motivated by reaching their goals. They're motivated by moving those goals farther off into the distance once again. So I truly hope that for each of you, you move your goal out time and time again, that you chase them with fervor, and that regardless of how big your dreams are, there's a woman named Ellen Johnson Sirleaf who shared an incredible statement that I hope each of you capture, which is that if your dreams do not scare you, then they are not big enough. Congratulations, guys. I hope you have a wonderful commencement.
Thank you very much, Adam, for those thoughtful, inspiring words. I think that you will be remembered by this class and many of us for those words. Academic life has offered you the opportunity to study and to learn, to reflect, analyze, and synthesize, to formulate and test hypotheses. As you leave the world of the university and enter upon the course of your careers, you surely will put your theories to the test. Your new world will likely be more demanding and less forgiving. You will be faced with greater challenges and with more questions than solutions. In the real world, we all learn that our decisions and actions have very real consequences, both practical and moral, for ourselves and others. What is certain in this very dynamic world is that there is no shortage of important work for the graduates of 2014. What advice can I offer to guide you on your way? I charge you to live a life of learning. Knowledge is a tool for bettering this world. You have developed skills of acquiring knowledge and critical thinking. Continue to hone your skills, to ask questions and pursue sound answers, and to exercise discipline in your work. I charge you to cultivate compassion for others. From compassion comes understanding of our differences and appreciation of our commonalities. Compassion engenders kindness and caring and generosity, the virtues that are the essence of our humanity, and the ingredients we need to achieve truly peaceful, collaborative coexistence. I charge you to become involved in community life. To paraphrase Pericles' statement in the Golden Age of Athens, we do not say of people who do not participate in public affairs that they mind their own business. We say that they have no business here at all. We do not achieve alone, we always achieve with others. As citizens, we're obliged to understand the assumptions, ideals, and aspirations of our communities and to develop the desire and the will to participate in their institutions for the common good. I charge you to actively seek and create and teach a life of hope. We must believe that what we think and say and do can make a difference. We're living in a period of turbulence in our economic systems, our political institutions, our social values, and throughout the world. In such times, we can easily become dispirited and discouraged. Our greatest challenge is to keep alive the belief that a better, more enlightened, more humane world is possible. And I charge you to do all of these with a sense of adventure and fun. The faculty of this university has determined that you, the graduates of 2014, are ready to meet your responsibilities. I join them, along with the university administration and staff, your family and friends, and our distinguished guests here today in wishing you a rewarding future. Graduates who are preparing for careers in education will now be acknowledged. I recognize the Dean of the School of Education, Dr. Carlos Ayala.
Thank you, Dr. Armiñana. Today is a very special day. You can think back in your lives and think about the teachers who impacted you. Many of the candidates today participating in today's ceremony are engaged in or are preparing for careers in education. Some are receiving master's degrees, some have completed bachelor's degree work for their majors, and are completing or will soon complete coursework leading to a California teaching credential. There is another group of students, if you turn to page 22 in your program, who are receiving doctor's degrees, just like Dr. Gary Heck today, from our joint program from UC Davis, the Candell program. We are very proud of the contribution that all of these students will make in the field of education and to the students of the state of California. We're all of the master's and bachelor's degrees candidates in any field or major who are preparing for careers in education. Please stand. Come on, Hutchins student, let's see you. Please join me in congratulating these students and their successes in life. They will be doing good work. Please be seated.
The graduates will now be presented and the degrees confirmed. I recognize Dr. Margie Purser, Chair of the Faculty.
Thank you, President Armiñana. Ready? Here we go. President Armiñana, it is my privilege to recommend these students who are assembled before you as candidates for degrees under the requirements prescribed by the trustees of the California State University and by the faculty of Sonoma State University. Candidates for the master's degrees and bachelor's degrees will be presented to you by the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Andrew Rogerson.
President Armiñana, I am pleased to certify that the master's degree candidates here today have completed all the requirements established by the trustees of the California State University and the faculty of Sonoma State University for the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration. Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Arts in English, Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies, Action for a Viable Future, Master of Arts in Organizational Development, and Master of Arts in Spanish. Will master's degree candidates please rise and remain standing?
Candidates for the master's degree, you have heard the recommendation of the faculty of Sonoma State University. By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the California State University, I do hereby confer upon each of you who has satisfied the requirement for the appropriate degree of Executive Masters of Business Administration, Masters of Business Administration, and the Master of Arts, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereupon pertaining. Congratulations to every one of you. Please be seated.
President Arminiana, the deans of the academic schools will now present the candidates for the bachelor's degree. I recognize Dr. Thane Stearns, Dean of the School of Arts and Humanities.
Will all candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Arts and Humanities please rise? President Arminiana, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Arts and Humanities, I have the honor to recommend the candidates for bachelor's degrees with majors in American Multicultural Studies, Art, Art History, Chicano and Latino Studies, Communication Studies, English, Fine Arts, French, Liberal Studies from the Hutchins School, Music, Philosophy, Spanish, and Theater Arts.
Thank you, Dean Stearns. Candidates from the School of Arts and Humanities, you may now be seated. I recognize Dr. William Silver, Dean of the School of Business and Economics.
Wake up, School of Business and Economics students. It's your turn to be heard. Will all the candidates for bachelor's degree in the School of Business and Economics please rise? President Arminiana, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Business and Economics, I have the honor to present candidates for bachelor's degrees with majors in economics and business administration with concentrations in accounting, finance, financial management, management, marketing, and wine business strategies.
Thank you, Dean Silver. Candidates from the School of Business and Economics, you may now be seated. I recognize Dr. Carlos Ayala, Dean of the School of Education.
Will all of the candidates for bachelor's degrees in the School of Education please rise? President Armiñana, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Education, I have the honor to present the candidates for bachelor's degrees with a major in early childhood studies, future educators.
Thank you, Dean Ayala. Candidates from the School of Education, you may now be seated.
Will all of the candidates for the bachelor's degrees please rise? Candidates for the bachelor's degree, you have heard the recommendation of the faculty of Sonoma State University. By the virtue of the authority vested in me, by the Board of Trustees of the California State University, I do here confer upon each of you who has satisfied the requirements for the Bachelors of Arts and Bachelors of Science with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereupon pertaining. Now, to signify that the bachelor's degree has been earned, you may move the tassel of your cap to the left side. Congratulations. Will all of the graduates please join me in expressing our appreciation to the faculty and staff of Sonoma State University, whose hard work and dedications have helped you achieve this goal. Thank you. Please be seated.
All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. So listen up for just a minute. Our candidates here today have devoted great time and energy and sacrifice in order to earn these degrees. And they have folks out there in the audience who have worked just as hard and would really, really like to hear their names called. So we're going to read every single solitary name. Graduates, when you come up, you will get your picture taken down there, and when the diploma is handed to you, and then you'll shake the hand of someone who's conferring the degree to you, and then you'll go back to your seats, okay? It's that simple. We would really request that the audience remain seated and that the graduates go back to their seats until everyone has received their degree. And if you could please hold your applause, at least pace it out, folks, so that everybody's name can be heard by the people who've come to be here for them. On behalf of the faculty and the graduates, I would also like to thank Professors Suzanne Tuszewski and Armand Galinsky for reading all those names aloud. Yeah. We will now present the diplomas. I recognize Dr. Melinda Bernard, Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, who will introduce the candidates.
I'm glad I still have some vice connected with me.
Education first.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Will the marshals from the School of Education please pay very careful attention? I know you're in the back. Will the master's degrees from the School of Education please rise, and will you come forward and receive your diplomas?
Little bit.
Christine Russell Hester, Master of Art in Education. Deanne Bruno.
Liz Deichler, Master of Art in Education.
Dana Shea, Master Education.
Aurora Starr Valentine, Master of Arts in Education.
Maria Villagomez, Education, Curriculum, Teaching, and Learning.
Lisa Brown, Master of Arts in Education.
Martha Jean Bello, Master of Arts in Education, Reading and Language.
Darren Duvander, Master of Arts in Education.
Michelle Renee Connor, Master of Arts in Education.
Angie Koraker, Master of Arts in Special Education.
Carlin Knight, Master of Arts in Education.
Fouad Atef Al-Qadi, Master of Arts in Education.
Anya Kane, Master of Arts in Education.
Lainey Fleming, Master of Arts in Education, Curriculum, Teaching, and Learning.
Mary Lou German, Master of Arts in Education. Marisol Hernandez Arenales, Master of Arts in Education.
Marshals in the School of Education, your job is not yet done. Will the bachelor candidates from the School of Education please rise from the back and come forward to receive your degree?
Sarah Nicole Kaufman. Michaela Ann DiMartini. Rebecca Lynn Marzan Lucas. Sharon Eugenia Rocha Garcia. Mallory Ann Lowenthal. Michelle Antoinette Watson. Madeline Joelle Thorson. Lindsay Nicole Arnold. Tiffany Ryan Blake.
Congratulations to the recipients of the master's degrees and bachelor's degrees from the School of Education. Now, will those receiving master's degrees from the School of Arts and Humanities please rise? Master degree candidates, please come forward and receive your diplomas.
Jusenia Mendoza, Master Organizational Development.
Damaris Caro, Master of Arts in Spanish.
Pratyusha Gubala, Master's Organization Development.
Raul Castro, Master of Arts in Spanish.
Jennifer Whitty, Master Organizational Development.
Enedina Avelar, Master of Arts in Spanish.
Bambi Strantz, Master Organization Development.
Maria del Carmen Payan, Master of Arts in Spanish.
Alisa Marie Grange, Master of Organization Development.
Melissa Vogt, Master of Arts in English, Rhetoric and Composition.
Walter Leroy Hubbard, Master Organization Development.
Catherine Marie Louise Pinkston, Master of Arts in English Creative Writing.
Lisa Murgatroyd, Master Organization Development.
John Barrett Kinchelo, Master of Arts in English.
Linda Dolores Moore, Master Organization Development.
Michaela Spannenberg, Master of Arts in English Literary Criticism.
Joy Dolan, Master Organization Development.
Andrea Rodriguez Jareb, Master of Arts in Organization Development.
Kosar Sufi, Master Organization Development. Michelle Marie Rivecchio, Master Interdisciplinary Studies and Higher Education.
Congratulations to the recipients of master degrees from the School of Arts and Humanities. All right, all you young communicator, artists, linguists, and writers, it's your turn. Will the bachelor degree recipients from the School of Arts and Humanities please stand up and come forward to now receive their diplomas? Marshals, please direct your graduates.
Stephanie Barba Alvarez.
Marisabel Olquin Romero.
Marilu Montañez Hurtado.
Lily Javy.
Diana Rodriguez Gonzalez.
Kyle Alexander.
Yadira Jasmine Quezada.
Jamari Siobhan Fredenberg.
Christopher Kyle Eikenberry.
Kristen Marie Sillers.
Megan Brownell.
Walter Lopez.
Megan Ann O'Connor.
Rebecca Shibler.
Caitlin Horn.
Charvel Alexis Garibaldi.
Amanda Hulamard.
Noel Dominique Rodriguez.
Sarah Martinez.
Hannah Casita.
Leanne Johnson.
Alex O'Danio.
Danielle Swift.
Philip Ferrero.
Julia Sudlow.
Vanessa McCormick.
Austin Brooks.
Anthony Vincente Finley.
Whitney Lynn Westbrook.
Ashley Kimball.
Christina Lou Smith.
Shella Pimental.
Courtney Elizabeth Richmond.
Sarah Yarmer.
Sarah Murphy.
Catherine Lewis.
Damian Linus.
Sarah Davis. Angela Fong.
Gloria Noten.
Nicole Foley.
Ana Maria Torres.
Natalie Cassidy.
Michelle Hindman.
Ariel Lakshan.
Maria Carol Lindo Olson.
Andrew Casimar.
Michaela Ann Guild.
Peter Brennan.
Sarah Irene Berry.
Danielle Cartier.
Elizabeth Perrine.
Sierra Goodrich.
Joshua Campbell.
Cameron York.
Joseph Aaron Clark.
Justin Ringline.
George Alejandro Tapia.
Victoria Schwartz Edmiston.
Corey Lane Lafont.
Ryan Strauss.
Kirsten Zering.
Victoria Goldman.
Michael Hollingshead.
Valerie Nancy Killam.
Todd Williams.
Bethany Alexa.
Ryan Pedvin,
Jennifer Eve Thornton,
Daniel Lyman,
Emily Bartz,
Daniel Pfeiffer,
Piper Watkins,
Madeline Freese,
Maggie Elizabeth Wiley,
Tawny Vrabel,
Malia Shalene Palaf,
Ian Arnold,
Hasse Gaskar,
Tara Lynn Bowers,
William David Reyes Jr.,
Brennan Beck,
Nick Chedwick,
Rachel Levine,
Caitlin Humphreys,
Rachel Ann Sarah Weiss,
Jessica Prinslin,
Michael Eliscu,
Heather Deacon,
Tristan Burney,
Colleen Mary Conifrey,
Julia Wilson,
Araceli Karina Ayala,
Janelle Loretta Swader,
Marcy Nicole Flores Suazo,
Jenna Michelle Madsen,
Claudia Camacho Gonzalez,
Valen Dudley,
Stephanie Ramos,
Jessica Gregory,
Gonzalo Romo,
Nicole Jaco,
Allison Tucker,
Kyle Archer,
O'Hara Hartman,
William Lindblom,
Sarah Jo Fazio,
Benjamin Joseph Trosper,
Diana Rudin,
Derek Stephen Garofalos,
Amanda Lee Cimarelli,
Sanai Mbaya,
Patience Foster,
Ashley Sims,
Stephen Valadez,
Lauren Woods,
Maris Talogan,
Kaya Denning,
Sarah Vargas,
Robin Rebecca Lintz,
Melissa Garcia,
Michelle Stevenson,
Catherine Yvonne Gibbon,
Haley Mae Walker,
Megan Madsen,
Sarah Sheehy,
Rochelle Cafe,
Kaylin Taplin,
Danielle Taylor,
Noah Tenney,
Danielle Zimmerman,
Alyssa Pobletti,
Brittany Rose Blauschat,
Christia Gembruno,
Angela Rose Solana Quitosek,
Brianna Marie Huth,
Eureka Abushi,
Kristen Lee Berryhill,
Amanda Kelly,
Kelsey Aaron Curry,
Julianne Polito,
Justine Danielle Luna,
Delaney McGinley,
Nicole Lee Ritchie,
Brian Ronald Strauss,
Lauren Lee McDonald,
Fiona Sarah Faith McKenzie,
Keisha Danielle Cohen,
Shelby Bandula,
Carissa Eliza Morningstar Pinola,
Kaylee Mounts,
Amanda Louise Nelson,
Madeline Lewis,
Patricia Antonia Marie Ruiz,
Tyler Gray,
Cameron Elizabeth Dunn Judd,
Phoebe Kern,
Lacey May Fiddler,
Brittany Enos,
Christina Hunt,
Sage Sutphin,
Nicole Roda,
KB Kruger,
Rachel Harmon,
Tiffany Molinar,
Avel de Leon,
Marlena Alvis,
Cesar Adolfo Cruz,
Michaela Forks,
Maria Shana Duvaleques,
Nicole Williams,
Annalise Butler,
Brittany Miner,
Amy Everest,
Rebecca Krautheim,
Emily Barwig,
Tammy Buntman,
Amanda Scrabus,
Sarah Elizabeth Gross,
Jennifer Price,
Patricia Sherman Tice,
Chloe Beth Holtzman Kruskal,
Catherine Teresa Connolly,
Eileen Stoddard,
Michelle Brooke Dokos,
Chrissy Marie Guarino,
Michaela Kimmelman,
Cameron Hathaway.
Remington Goodis.
Amanda Levine.
Brianna Bufano.
Kevin Charles Kinder.
Kaylee Gascoigne.
Galadriel Hagenbark.
Chelsea Emma Chappie.
Megan Templeman.
Hillary Smith.
Ariana Keif.
Matthew John Streckfus.
Melanie Torres.
Emily Williams.
Michelle Schulman.
Jared Blaze Eisenstadt.
Anna Elizabeth Pachilio.
Tommy Porter.
Carly Lintz.
Sean Mayall.
Jennifer Johnson.
Dennis Deneen.
Haley Nicole Armstrong.
Melissa Lois Hausman.
Kelly Fitch.
Angela Harrington.
Connor Patrick McElhaney.
Leah Ainsley.
Spencer Trotta.
Dolly Oberti.
Molly Lauren Rosenberg.
Megan Virginia Foy.
Natalie Lane Parizzo.
Paige Nicole Transu.
Brent Barstow.
Gian Dambro.
David Tedla.
Lauren Patricia Cruz.
Christopher Michael Owens.
Elliot Wagner Rosales.
Scott Andrew Crossan.
Tyler B. Green.
Blake Lawrence Richardson.
Lindsay Taylor Hewson.
Kristen Brunner.
Clint Johnson.
Kurt Martin.
Ellen Donaire.
Zachary Hospany.
Joseph Pavlovich Gray.
Joseph McManus.
Adriana Boyer.
Yvette Rangel.
Tara Funk.
Kayla Swain.
Eloy Camacho.
Courtney Scales.
Joey Adelman.
Megan Elizabeth Rosini McPhillips.
Ashley Florin.
Evan Robert Lickman.
Danielle DeGunto.
Lauren Lidkey.
Jessica Liscombe.
Emily Mills.
Cassandra Falding.
DeWanta Sorensen.
Maxwell Cadena.
Inga Lynn.
Andrea Horton.
Rosalinda Monroy.
Cameron James Fagan.
Elise Van Duzen.
Emily Rose.
Ruthie Sanchez Contreras.
Catherine Lauren McDonough.
Megan Rothfield.
Emilian Taylor Lewis.
Catherine Sambucetti.
Braden Jaco.
Josh Gray.
Brittany Nix Barnett.
Kayla Marie Avenade Heekin.
Sarah Mazuka.
Cheryl Latrice McCorley.
Caitlin Ashley Merletti.
Kate Miller.
Ann Mankins.
Erica Pischke.
Lauren Ellison.
Maggie Smith.
Valerie Villarreal.
Mark Konakis.
Suzanne Stannard Front.
Kevin Hayes.
Kelsey Lee O'Rourke.
Tyler Salerno.
Jessica Diamond.
Paul Coker.
Sarah Hanako Spear.
Robert Jacobs.
Allison Jackson.
Ian Andrew.
Chris Loomis.
Jonathan Duff.
Lisa Grocott.
Allison Potterack.
Jack Burns.
Luis Perez.
Kathy Lynn LeMay.
Michael McLean.
Louise Ost.
Laura Evelina Tripiano.
Yvette Pacheco.
Janet Anguiano Alfaro.
Carrie Gilfeather.
Lena Rose Raffaelli.
Deborah Brownell.
Gabrielle Cordero.
Sheila Tost.
Josephine Lynn.
Jennifer Davis.
Christina Marie Valise.
Lisa Ann Moore.
Kiara Artree.
Craig Borsatz.
Jessica Grace Velarde.
Patricia French.
Cody John Martin.
David Garland.
Brandon C. Binder.
Donna Cayley.
Alexa Sarnes.
Mary Margaret Sickle.
Giovanni Lamana.
Maria De Leon.
Roxanne Adair Hopkins.
Kristen Russell.
Claire Engen.
Sander Roberto Salguero.
Talio Trozzo.
Logan Leeson Thomas.
Angelina Marie Gomez. Rebecca Erin Royer. Danielle Patrice Felkner. Christina Guarinoni. Samuel Marks. Sydney Ziegler. Nicole Ashley Moran.
Next, yeah.
Congratulations to the recipients of the bachelor degrees from the School of Arts and Humanities. Okay, there's still more to come. Now, will those receiving master's degrees from the School of Business and Economics please rise? Master degree candidates, please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Surani Hairkwan, Masters of Business Administration. Nathan Miller, Masters of Business Administration. Daniel Rotzfligmer, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Eric Pooler, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Courtney Dyer, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Dana Suzanne Scott, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Sarah Hugg, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Ashley Cinto, Masters in Business Administration. Marissa Montenegro, Masters of Business Administration. Gabriella Zendi, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Ten Subramanian, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Leonardo Taconta, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Tito Luna, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Cricket Nicole Weaver, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Avis Kalsbeck, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Prima Bayon, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Delia Sainha, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Christopher Drake, Executive Master, Business Administration. Drew Damsky, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Nate Weiss, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Keith Hawk, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Philip Burke, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Michelle Wing, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Brandy Alexander, Executive Masters of Business Administration. Gabriel Valenzuela, Masters of Business Administration. Rachel Cow Taylor, Masters of Business Administration. Lana Clifford, Masters of Business Administration. Michelle Renee Moselle, Masters of Business Administration. Stephanie Michelle Stewart, Masters of Business Administration. Jason Weedland, Masters in Business Administration. Troy Nunez, Masters of Business Administration. Jocelyn Kathleen Sparso, Masters of Business Administration. Jessica Way, Masters of Business Administration. Sean Purcell, Masters of Business Administration.
Congratulations to the recipients of the master's degree from the School of Business and Economics. All right, you future masters of industry, now it's your turn. Will the bachelor degree recipients from the School of Business and Economics now rise? School marshals, please direct your graduates to receive their diplomas.
Jasmine Quintero.
Paul Henry.
Jason Toft.
Gabriel Sarte.
Casey Patrick Sullivan.
Nathan Portis.
Maurice Mickle.
Kayla Diane Hansen.
David Greg Castino, Jr.
Sarah Hensey.
Thomas Daniel Nelson.
Samant Raj Shakya.
Issa Roth.
Jonathan Michael Barnes.
Kyle Richard Mossman.
Cesar Albuquerque.
Dalton James Pollard.
Daniel Johnson.
Matthew Gabriel Doherty.
Ryan Allen Moore.
Nick Byrne.
Dylan Fannin.
Nicholas Adam Shireen.
Yadad Solomon.
Sophia Conrad.
Colton Williams.
Taylor Patrick O'Sullivan.
Dallas Watson.
Patrick Egan.
Kaylani Marie Shirley Richards.
Patrick Ward.
Candace Antonio.
Sarah Navarro.
Stephen Warren.
Michelle Rose Martin.
Daniel Sidney Slovis.
Nicole Elizabeth Allegre.
Cole Pickavance.
Nicole Gores.
Rick Tyler Domke.
Cher Kreider Meng.
Jeremy Gregory Windelken.
Aaron Reyes.
Matthew Rulifson.
Catherine Lency.
Kyle Richard Klink.
Melissa Lamb.
Jenna Connolly.
Teddy Osmondson.
Anthony George Morganum.
Carly Buck.
Kevin Spence.
Kevin Carangioli.
Jason Vincent.
Joseph Rosa Denise.
Cole Iftikhar.
Alyssa Pizarro.
Robert Lind.
Mario Frank Pauletti.
Jessica Echevarria.
Megan Breonna Davis.
Heather McConnell.
Madeline Cristanti.
Lenny Streeter.
Caitlin Nicole Campa.
Nancy Alvarez.
Kevin Tron.
Erica Foster.
Patrick Matopa.
Simone Virginia Fernandez.
Travis Nicholas.
Shelby Lynn Lago.
Hayden Miller.
Elise Marie Temple.
Corey Walsh.
Jennifer April Brown.
Kayla Niles.
Manuela Escarcega.
Chelsea Dillon.
Michelle Ann Carolini.
Devin Kahn.
Nicole Millerek.
Christine Wynn.
Rochelle Walt.
Alex Anderson.
Charlie Kwok.
Weston Gant.
Brittany Cart.
Stacey Rocho.
John Lorette.
Janet Gonzalez.
Benjamin Stephen Doyle Camber. Michael Rosenthal. Brittany Sams.
Atanas.
Kenzie Rossi.
Adriana Hernandez.
Lisa Eggers.
Kyle Keating.
Kyle Peterson.
Andrew Siletti.
Samad Patel.
Rick Gilbert Solomon.
Kimberly Young.
Tyler Cornish.
Seth Vierted Krevelin.
Megan Cavazzo Smith.
Nadine Awad.
Paige McReynolds.
Alma de los Santos.
Chloe Bell.
Lauren Moore.
Dai Sung Kim.
Kimberly Leilani Moore.
David Adler.
Olivia Romero.
Matthew Nicholas Bergari.
Nicole Doctor.
Cole Trigger.
Paige Allison McConnell.
Megan Konishka.
Lisa LaFolly.
Connor Dar.
Jessica Greer.
Matthew Moquin.
Alana Travolsi.
Kevin Nahavandi.
Morgan Winchesky.
Lauren Smith.
Russell Linder.
Taylor Holdridge.
Gregory Turner Jr.
Sarah Kutab.
Samantha Ochoa.
Stacy Cohen.
Michelle Annalyn Benson.
Kelly Paz.
Diana Pena Alas.
Madison Pennington.
Christina Canchola.
Alexa Bridge.
Denise Espinosa.
Caitlin Rose Ford.
Alexa Engels.
Anthony Dugonzik.
Casey Butler.
David Charles Springer.
Truong Lee.
Justin Todd Coletti.
Alexander David Gillen.
Andrew Poitras.
Suhir Sharif.
Derek Davis.
Drew Smithyman.
Oriel Durden.
Ellen Grace Lee.
Bryce Durden.
Danielle Galper.
Brian Smith.
Danielle Nicole Larson.
Garrett Cross.
Garrett Hanks.
James Hare.
Ben Rotman.
Sarah Crabb.
Skylar Newman.
Matthew Owen Vaughn.
Haley O'Neill.
Corey Cullen.
Eric Biederman.
Matthew Anapolsky.
Brittany Molnar.
Roy Helms.
Nicole Gragnola.
Sophorn Penn.
Christina Eloise Pavao.
Rupinder Singh.
Ashley Lynn Moeller.
Matthew Bickle.
Ryan Nicholos.
Liam Martin.
Jack Daniel Jacoby.
Faith Burrows.
Wei Chan Wong.
Amanda Kurt.
Sijuan Low.
Keely Martin.
Van Trong Henderson.
Cody Milner.
Hein Nguyen.
Jitesh Patel.
Eric Johnson.
Daniel Lombardi.
Sarah Nutter.
Allison Ricci Alcocer.
Julia Stanley.
Dan Rickett.
Catherine Lindsay.
Liam Villaluna Erickson.
Lindsay Harrell.
Nelson Hosley.
Tara Lynn Albertson.
Charlie McClung.
Vincent Mansueto.
Aaron Hooper.
Nicholas Sheldon.
Robert Ferreira.
Shane Ryan.
Abigail Bushnell.
Marissa Seward.
Natalie Odom.
Dylan George Brooks Chisler.
Evan Grajeka.
Corey Kovac.
Shane King.
John Varney Ashton.
Cameron Lever.
Sean Boyson.
Sheila Mellenthin.
Kevin Williams.
Danielle Kimberly Carr.
Evan Cisneros.
Tim Olson.
Pedro Gavao Sales.
Danielle DeVries.
Trevor Egan.
Sharon Haig.
Lauren Haw.
Jessica Ernst.
Vanessa Steves.
Elizabeth Dinsmore.
Lupita Figueroa.
Jacob Steven Silbert.
Manny Garcia.
Zoe Zabarchuk.
Moises Jara.
Sean Shurtleff.
Austin Wiggins.
Bradley DeVos.
Chelsea Scherer.
Matt Breeze.
Chelsea Moore.
Sharon Bishop.
Sam Obermeyer.
Gregory Allen Lupart Jr.
Danielle Johnson.
Jacob Harris.
Kyle Klein.
Dylan Farrager.
Trent Williams.
Romy Bonifacio.
Anna Nicole Griffith.
Tina Harris.
Oliver Wyatt Hughes.
Jocelyn Ortega de Valencia.
Grayson Ishimatsu.
Joseph David Wilkus.
Taylor Jacob Beck.
Dominic Gutierrez Hoyt.
David Chorbajian.
Nathan Espitalier.
Cole Girth Strombum.
Wes Richmond.
Roberto Galvan.
Nicholas Chicalella.
Gabriel Smith.
Andrew Davis.
Chad Whitehead.
Ryan Huffman.
Gabe Limbe.
Andrew Slayman.
Graham Byers,
Gabriel Miller,
James Richardson,
Neil Hopkins,
Kevin James Burdeck,
Kyle Riddle,
Darren Fitzgerald,
Sachiko Dolores Silva,
Matthew Brandon Wolf,
Alexandra Nicole McLeod, Angela Laird, Alyssa Dime, Samantha Joy Sasser, Sarah Elizabeth Piazzi, Jordan Plisse, Sarah Kritikos, Sujan Limbu, Gabriella Elliott, Michael Simpson, Dylan Price, Heather Jade Delman, Jackie Sugar Porter, Cooper Smith Neiswanger, Laura Dana Mitrovich, Katie Elizabeth Boyer, Christina Dyer, Nicholas Skinner, Megan Helphand, Nicole Elizabeth Bradley, Shayna Alexis Dreyer, Brianna Marie Bessling, Colin Coburn, Colin Piccolo, Kevin Eddy, Kristen Ortega, Gerardo Paez, Ashley Potter, Evan McCallum, Morgan Merritt, Amber Okubo, Benjamin Eli Lane,
I know. I always think of that later. Congratulations to all the graduates. Let's give everybody who managed this day a round of applause. We have one more part of the ceremony before we do the recessional out and we get to go to the receptions afterwards. So would you please join me in welcoming our student musician back to sing for us the Sonoma State Hymn, which you'll find on the first page of your program. So Ms. Talia Trozzo, will you come back and sing for us one more time?
Absolutely. Feel free to sing along if you know it.
Reign
Congratulations.
Thank you, Talia, for that beautiful performance. At this point in the ceremony, I want to remind you that the Schools of Arts and Humanities and Business and Economics and Education are all hosting receptions for their graduates and families immediately following the commencement ceremony. The locations of those receptions are listed on the map in your program. So if you take a look, you can find your receptions. We'll hope you'll join us there. We'd love to see you. We'd love to meet those parents and family members that have helped you through all these years, and we have a few stories to tell them. So please bring them by. It's a very, very special day, and we'd like to share it with you for just a little longer. So please come to the receptions. We've now reached the part of our ceremony which is known as the recessional. This tradition provides us, the faculty, with the opportunity to formally greet and congratulate all those graduating students. Therefore, we really request that the audience please remain seated until all graduates have left the commencement area. The recessional will terminate out in the Central Campus quad, and we'd appreciate your patience and your cooperation during the recessional. So hang in there, we're almost done. And this is a really kind of wonderful part of the ceremony, so stick around just 10 more minutes. Will the banner carriers please take up their banners? I know. Do you want me to say something or not? I think so too. Will the platform party, the faculty, and the graduates, all of you remaining, please rise and come party with us? Yeah.